The Pelicans make a sneaky good move acquiring a coach with an impressive resume that will add to the player development of the current core and the future roster. We're going to take a look at this signing and find out why it's a good fit for the Pels inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it once again, my people? It's your boy Melz on the MIC, back once again with Pelicans Digest. And thank you once again for tuning in and subscribing. We picked up 100 more subscribers. Thank you so much for coming join the party here at Pelicans Digest. And don't forget to comment and share your thoughts on what we about to discuss. And also, I appreciate once again y'all support and y'all continue great comments and uplifting and thoughts and prayers and stuff like that due to my Bell's palsy. But we're still fighting through it. We're gonna get through it. And we're going to give you this good analysis and these good opinions about the Pels. And a couple of days ago, the Pelicans made what I think was a sneaky good signing, acquiring a coach with an impressive resume that will not only help the team win now, but also help the team develop in the future with some of these draft picks that we made in this year's draft. And I'm talking about the signing of Mike Hopkins. He comes over from the Phoenix Suns last season, and he was hired by Mike Budenholzer. And, of course, Mike Budenholzer will let go at the end of the season. So, of course, he was let go as well. And I think the Pelicans made a sneaky good move in picking this guy up. They're signing him to the position of assistant coach and head up player development. And when it comes to his role at player development, I think this is something that's going to be very important for us to keep an eye on. Now, as a head of player development, according to Miguel Latore of Clutch Points, he will be tasked with shaping the growth of the Pelicans' emerging stars, players like Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy III, and Dejounte Murray. His job will be to accelerate the growth curve to turn flashes of brilliance into steady contributions. Now, that's according to Miguel Latore. Now, with that being said, I think this is, of course, a Troy Weaver. His hands is all over this signing because, of course, him and Troy Weaver were longtime assistants back with Syracuse back in the day. And the guy, Mike Hopkins, brings a whole lot of experience, man. He's bringing 7 years of coaching experience as the head coach of the University of Washington Huskies. He was a two-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. And like I said, he spent a long time with Syracuse with Jim Boeheim. And he also was on that coaching staff when he won the national championship in 2003 with Carmelo Anthony. So, of course, this is a Troy Weaver deal. And I know a lot of my Detroit people will say, Troy Weaver was a bad signing and all this other stuff. But I have to speak on this. I have to say that I like this signing because I think you needed somebody in there, a coach with his caliber, that can understand and has recent understanding of players that are in the age range of what we're dealing with right now with the Pelicans. These guys are younger. We talked about this. This is a younger team, and the focus is Zion and the core pieces around him and how they can fit around him, okay? So when you look at that, and again, this is according to the master plan. We spoke about this in a video before. When you're talking about the master plan of the Pelicans, is to build around the core that won you 49 games just a season or two ago. This team can at least get you to 50 games in a season. Build around that core, but also, as you've seen with the 3 draft picks that we made, you're developing for the future with homegrown, keeping it in-house, internal talent that you can continue to grow with. And bringing in a guy like a Hopkins, who is known as a defensive guy, he knows his X's and O's, but will dive deeper into what this team needs. You bring this guy in, and I think this is a great decision to make because now, okay, let's put it like this. What's our big knock on Willie Green? One of the big knocks on Willie Green as a head coach. Sometimes he has a tendency to have bad rotations and have bad players in bad situations, okay? When you have somebody that can come in and help you look at the player development of the team that you currently have now and also the players that you have coming up, you can identify what they're good at while also simultaneously helping them work through what they're not good at. And whatever they're good at, you can help them implement that into the roster and into your lineups. Because, again, I want you to, because Miguel Latore in Clutch Points writes this article glowingly about this guy. Like nothing but good things about this guy. But he also pointed out to something that I found very important. This move signals a commitment by the front office to not just win now, but to build a sustainable foundation by maximizing internal talent. Again, maximizing your internal talent, what you picked, helping them grow into the roles that you want them to play on this team. That's smart basketball to me. That's a strategic approach. Because, again, I spoke on this in an earlier video about what the Pelicans' master plan is. The Pelicans' master plan is to take Zion Williamson and build around younger players. If Zion Williamson can stay healthy this season and next, you have enough young talent and also core talent around him that will help him build and become better. And this team will continue to improve, okay? Now, you can say what you want about his time in Phoenix. He wasn't a household name in Phoenix because, you know, like I said, this guy was surrounded by superstars and veteran players that have been in the league for years and all these all-stars, and you see how that turned out. How did that turn out for Phoenix? They're blowing the whole damn thing up right now. So, again, when you bring in somebody that's going to not only help you identify what it is on your current roster, the strengths and the weaknesses, and then you can help work and integrate a roster that can maximize all of their strengths together and their roles. And then at the same time, you got a guy that's going to be paying attention to what the younger guys are doing. Because I don't know if we've been doing that in Birmingham, to be honest with you. Because, again, we had 2 years less of Quiones. We had running back and forth with Antonio Reeves. And we don't know if these guys developed or not. Now they're not even here. You wasted 2 years on guys that, you know, you thought you were developing into something that could be in the future, and it turns out they couldn't, and they're now gone. So, you know, even Brandon Boston Jr., I just saw the other day, Brandon Boston Jr. just is going to the Euro League now. He can't even get a job in the NBA. So again, these are certain things that we had to, as far as Pelicans go, as far as developing, because that's something I don't think this team was doing. Why do you think Oklahoma City won their championship? Because everybody that they had on that roster, they developed in some way, shape, or form to perform a role on that team that's going to help SGA and anybody else that's the starters on that team, the superstars on that team. You have to do the same thing if you're New Orleans. I like this approach. You have to take this approach because this is proven to be a championship approach. Again, I said this before. I don't think the Pels are going to win a championship this season, but I do think we can make it to the playoffs. And if you can make it to the playoffs this season and go into next season on that high energy, everybody healthy, and you got younger guys in there, and you got a coach that, again, has over 30 years experience and also has experience dealing with people that are in these younger players' age groups. Again, he's coming from college and only a year or two in the NBA, but he spent a majority of his time in college, so he knows how to identify and get the most out of young players. He knows how to do this. That's why it probably didn't work in Phoenix last year, because there wasn't a whole bunch of stuff to develop. You got a whole bunch of megastars over there. So when you bring this in, to me, it looks like smart basketball. Now, say what you want about Troy Weaver and everything else, but I think this is smart basketball because, again, this sticks to something that we've been consistently saying about on this show about the Pelicans, Joe Dumars, and what they've been doing these last couple of weeks, rebuilding this roster and reconfiguring this roster. And that is, you want Zion with younger players that develop those players to play a role around him, and then you build out from there. So, again, I love this move. I don't know how you feel about it. It may not be a big earth-shattering move, but one thing Miguel Latorre said in that article that I found fascinating, he said that if this works out for the Pelicans, this could be one of the most important hires that this franchise has made in the last couple of years. That's heavy. If you want to go read the article, you can go read it on Clutch Points right now, because he's calling it a successful move by the Pelicans to grab this guy and also bring him in to help develop these guys. You know what I'm saying? And also something that he wrote in there, it says that this is also starting to establish a culture in New Orleans with this Pelicans team. A culture, something I don't think we've had in a long time as far as a culture is concerned, of developing our own internal talent. We've been so panicky that we get a guy, the guy may show a flaw or two and he's out of here. With Dyson Daniels and everybody else. It's never been a culture of let's build, let's take our time and walk our way to the championship. It's always been compassionate, joy, and mindfulness. Let me stop with that. Don't get me started on that, because that's what I was saying about culture. When you went into the Pelicans facility last season, and all these last couple of seasons, you saw these signs on the wall that says, up in the bleachers and the rafters, that said compassion, mindfulness, joy. Man, this is a team. This is basketball, man. This is NBA basketball. This is pro basketball, man. Other teams got grit. You know what I'm saying? And something tough on their walls. We got yoga and cat poster memes up there. Now you go into the Pelicans practice facility, you're going to see a big NBA trophy. And it says one team, one goal. That's what you should be focused on, a trophy. And that's what you need to start establishing, is a culture that says we're going to focus on this trophy. This is the goal at the end of the day. Not mindfulness, not joy, not compassion. Get that cat poster nonsense off my wall, man. Real. But I like Mike Hopkins signing. I hope that he can develop these young guys, and especially the younger half. I think that will be his total focus this upcoming season and next. It will be not. I think he'll be able to quickly assess the current starting lineup that we're going to go into and see what can work out best. And then I think he's going to go in and start developing the younger guys and making sure that they're ready for their time when their number is called. So I love this. I think this is a great move by the Pels. What are your thoughts on it? Clap back with your thoughts in the comments. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to Pelicans Digest. We give you the best analysis, opinions, and so much more about the New Orleans Pelicans. So don't miss out on it, man. Get the alerts. Become a subscriber so you can be here when it goes down, baby. And tell me your thoughts on it. Do you think the Mike Hopkins signing is a good signing? Do you think he can develop these players? Again, not a household name, not a superstar name, but still a good resume. When you look at his resume, this is a good resume. And for the job that he's being brought in to do, look, Willie Green, again, should have no excuses. They're surrounding him with guys that can assess talent and also help him. So I hope he takes some of that help and that advice, so if he wants to stay on and be a coach another season. Otherwise, I still think Willie's gone. But anyway, I don't know what your thoughts. Tell me about Mike Hopkins. Tell me your thoughts. We'll get back to you next time. It's Melz talking about the Pels right here at Pelicans Digest.